UFC 310, wrapping up the pay-per-view schedule for the Ultimate Fighting Championship this year. And so this means the final time we'll be doing fights to make coming out of a UFC pay-per-view. It is, again, UFC 310. Flyweight champion Alexandre Pantoja with the victory. He's kind of cleared out the division already, right? And we talked about it with Aaron Bronstetter when I was on Sportsnet 960 this week. He's cleaned out the division kind of before he became champion, right? Like, he's already beaten, like, he beat Royval and Moreno, one to win the title, one whilst champion, but he beat those guys already as well. And so there isn't an obvious matchup for him right now. And so the one, I saw this suggested, and I can't get it out. It's Davison Figueiredo. I feel like it's the only one. Like, again, he has recently beat the only other two contenders. The number 1 and number 2 contenders. Number 3 in the rankings right now is Amir Albazi. He just lost in his last fight. And Kai Kara France won his last fight, but that's after losing 2 fights in a row. Figueiredo lost his last bout, yes, but he is a former champion in this weight class. And so I think that you can kind of sell that one pretty easily as a title fight. Or I do think there's a possibility that Pantoja moves up and fights Figueiredo up at 135 pounds. And I don't think he starts a journey up that way, but at least it becomes a bit of a super fight type of a thing of former champion, current champion at a weight class, but now fighting one weight class above, one where at least one of them is significantly more comfortable. So I feel like there's a couple of different ways you can go with that one. But yeah, the matchups would have been a whole lot more fun if Kai Asakura could have got the job done on Saturday night. But Pantoja, I think he's ready for a big 2025 and move up the rankings after just making it into our pound-for-pound rankings here this week. In terms of the fallen challenger, Kai Asakura, he debuted on the rankings at like 13. So not a lot of faith in him right now. I think the fight to make for him is Steve Erceg. Erceg coming off of 2 really tough losses in a row. If Asakura is a legitimate threat, he should beat Erceg. And if Erceg is this guy who can still be a title challenger, I think he beats Asakura. So I think it's a fight where you just kind of figure out where 2 guys are in terms of their proximity to a championship opportunity. Co-main event, it was Shavkat Rakhmanov. Not the most impressive of victories as he beat Ian Machado Garry on points, but he does come away with the win. It's obvious what the next one is. It's him against Belal Muhammad. This was a title eliminator. It wasn't the most inspiring win, but he should get the next shot. Now, there's some talk about an injury for Shavkat that might limit things a little bit and really throw things in flux in the welterweight division. But I think the next fight for Shavkat should be for a championship. For Ian Machado Garry, that was, even in a loss, one of the best performances, I think, of his career, and a real, like, stock riser for him. I have him going up against Kamaru Usman. I think Garry is a legitimate title threat now, and a win over Usman would get him back on track. Or it puts Usman now back in a spot where you can kind of justify having him compete for a championship. In the heavyweight division, Cyril Gane with a unanimous decision win over Alex Volkov. Again, not the most inspiring performance for either, and kind of one where the stock for the loser comes out a little bit better than the stock for the winner. For Cyril Gane, I have him against Alex Pereira next. I'm not going to go away from this. I think Pereira should be getting a shot in the heavyweight division. Now, I think next, for the 2 guys holding belts at heavyweight right now, John Jones and Tom Aspinall, I think next should be a fight between those 2 guys. I don't think Pereira is ready for that smoke, but I do think that there is a real opportunity to do something special here with Pereira and have him fight over 3 different weight classes. And I think Cyril Gane, couple stand-up guys, real interesting matchup for both of them in the heavyweight division. And then for Volkov, I have him going up against Curtis Blaydes. Both coming off of losses. Blaydes has lost 2 of his last 3. It's a huge fight for both as we try to figure out, are there any real contenders here in the heavyweight division in a John Jones, Tom Aspinall world. So those are fights I would make coming out of UFC 310. There is a fight night this weekend. Colby Covington fighting on that one. This is the least amount of buzz we've had for a Colby Covington fight in a real long time, and I don't mind.